Hey guys, Long Haul Larry, and we are down here in the shop in Wisconsin on my parents' farm. And we are working on this rebuild of this 7.3 liter Power Stroke engine. And it is time to get the heads ready, and then we're going to be dropping the heads on and probably moving on to the rockers and doing all this little different stuff. But I will show you what's going on right here. All right, so these are my heads. Leg is itchy. So these are my heads. Even got my name on them. Larry. These were done by JTL Trucking in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. I found these guys. Basically, I wanted to get motor work done on this. Wanted to have the block, the crank. I had connector rods done. Everything checked out, Magnaflux, checked for cracks, all that different stuff. And I went to a company that I have dealt with in the past, and I went to those guys, and they turned around and sold all of their machining equipment and closed their machine shop. And these guys out here at JTL, they actually bought all the equipment from them. And they told me that, and I went over and talked to them, and they impressed me a lot. And I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that, but they really did impress me. And so I turned around and just through talking to them, and I have no sponsorship or nothing like that. And they turned around and have done this for me. And we have the heads have been all rebuilt. The main problem with the head, that was the problem. I can see right here is 1, 2, 3. Looks like 3 valves were replaced on here. And what happened is some of the valves, the seats were actually cracked. They found some seats that were actually cracked. And so they had to remachine that out, put a new valve seat in there and everything. And then they actually said that they replaced some of the valves too. And you can see, I can see the new ones right here. They actually had the valves at their shop, so they didn't even have to order them, which was pretty cool. And they gave them to me really cheap, actually. But this is a head of 7.3, and they are heavy monsters. That I will tell you, very heavy. So what did we have done? Well, I told you about the valves. They redid all that. They resurfaced it and everything, all that. They cleaned the whole heads up and everything. They did all cleaning on them. But then also with the valves, because I put that stage 2 camshaft in there, the lobes are going to lift a little bit higher and everything else. And it's supposed to help with fuel economy, make it run better, but you can also boost the truck by doing that too. But by doing that, the company that I'm dealing with all the rebuild parts and everything else, talking with those guys, turned around and he said, if I'm going to put that camshaft in there, I need to upgrade my springs. So the valve springs here, these are actually Comp 910s valve springs. And I can show you the company. This is the company right here. It was Comp 910. And I got the whole set of valves and everything else, and they put a little bit higher pressure on them. They're able to withstand. I think it's like, I want to say like 80 pounds of pressure or something like that. The original, the stock springs have or something like this. These go up to like 125. And in doing so, you actually have to shim them. And we didn't know what size shim because they were going to have to machine and everything. So I actually bought a whole bunch of different shims. And I actually, they gave them to me back when I got picked up the stuff. And these shims go underneath there, and they actually have a tool that they can press on there, and it tells the spring compression and everything. And then they apply different springs to get the right spring compression. And so they had to do all that. And so they have these all set up, looking good. Everything is looking awesome. Here's the issue. The injector cups are down in here. And the injector cups, they were not leaking, but since I'm doing this, it's very easy to replace the injector cups right now. So I'm going to be replacing injector cups. So that's what I'm doing. And to do that, I have ordered, it's an injector cup puller. And it's this little tool right here. It just looks basically like a really big tap. And it's got a bolt that threads down into it. And it sits down in there. And it turns in like a tap. It turns into it. I'll get an injector cup for you here. Alright, these are injector cups that I got from jelibuilt. And this is what they look like. They're brass. And they have different stages. They're kind of tapered down. And that's for the O-rings on the injectors. They sit at the different levels and seal. And then down in the bottom, it seals down there too. Well, these get pressed into there. They're down inside there. Right now, the used ones are in there. And they get pressed down inside there. And there's a special tool right here that comes with it. And to reinstall, you just put this in. Put it down in there. You put a sleeve compound from, it's like Permatex, I think, the stuff I have. And I think that Loctite also makes some. And you put this down in there, and you just take a hammer and you punch it down in there and you bottom it out. And that gives it a new sealing surface for your injector so that they don't leak in the future. Very easy to do it on the bench right now. Little more difficult in the truck, and then there's going to be some shavings and stuff like that. And if you do it on the truck, they drop down into the cylinder. There's really not a lot you can do about it. You can put the pistons at top dead center so you don't get all the shavings in there, but a lot easier to do it right now. So that's what we're going to do. So let me get set up and we'll start working on the first one. Alrighty. Let's get started. So basically what you do is just take this tool, put it down in there. Kind of just can give it a little tap, get it started. And then you just start, it's just cutting into the old injector sleeve that's down in there. And you just run it down until you feel it bottom out. And it doesn't take a lot of force. It's just cutting into copper. There we go. Then we're going to back it off a half a turn. And my bolt just broke. Unbelievable. It's not good. Not good at all. Okay, that's working. Okay, so we got it back out. You can see what happens when you do it in the vehicle. All these little shavings from that tap in there are doing this. It gets into there. So we gotta figure out a better way. We gotta reinforce this tool here. The messed up thing is, I had actually bought this tool like 6 or 8 months ago, and to do this job on this thing, it's to fit this one and everything. And I actually bought a tool from a different company or whatever, and I had gotten it, and I can't find it. I just cannot find it. So I actually ended up ordering this one quick, and I ordered this up, and I had to wait to do this job for a couple days just to get this tool. And I got the tool, and on the first one, it broke. So basically what the tool entails is it has a tap. It's the tap that goes down into the injector sleeve. And what they've done here is they've just kind of milled out a little spot here for the set screws to sit in to lock this in to this here collar. That's all it is. Now, what would have been really cool when they made this tool is to make this out of steel. I don't have a lathe. If I had a lathe, I'd make one of these quick out of a piece of steel and problem solved. But I don't have a lathe. I'm going to try to fix this tool so it doesn't happen. Well, what they did is they have the set screw here and a set screw here that hold in the tap. So that makes it turn the whole thing. Then they have this here bolt. And this is threaded up in the top of here. So this threads down inside here, and it's a metric. It is a an M12-175 thread. And so they have this tapped into here, and they screwed it in, and then what they did is they drilled through the bolt, and they have a hole in the piece here that goes all the way through and through the bolt, and that's what locks it. And you could tell that the bolt was a little loose. It would move back and forth. They drilled this hole way too big. And guys, I've actually gone on YouTube and stuff, and there's other people that this has happened to. So I got an idea on how to fix it. Here's the broken bottom of the bolt. You can see that fits right there. And you can see that hole is huge compared to that. They basically drilled all of the bolt out. There's nothing holding it left. So here's my idea. So I went and got a new bolt. This is a grade 5. I got a new bolt, and I'm gonna try to make this one work. And so what I'm gonna do is I got a tap here. The threads are kind of boogered up in this one here, in this piece here. So I gotta run the tap down through. I mean, I can do that right now. Clean the threads up. Okay. So now the bolt will thread down in there. Okay? So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread it down to where it's even there. But instead of drilling a hole through the bolt and weakening the bolt really bad, what I've done is I bought some 1/4-20 set screws. And it's just a little set screw for an Allen wrench. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap out this holes where that rod went, and I'm going to thread it down in there. But first of all, I couldn't find a bolt that was fully threaded, and I need this to be fully threaded for this nut to go. And then I don't know where the other piece went. This piece goes on here. So this needs to be fully threaded. So I got the die and everything. I got a 12-1/7 die and everything, and I am going to I'm going to run this down on here, and I'm going to actually tap this bolt all the way down. And I thought about trying to find a grade 8 bolt and everything, so it'd be tougher. I don't know if I'd be able to tap it and all this stuff without a specialized machine and stuff. So we're going to use this. All All right, so we got our bolt fully threaded all the way down. So that's gonna work good. So now I'm leaving the tap on here. And instead of drilling a hole through the bolt and weakening the bolt, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna thread the bolt in so that it's even with it. What about there? And then I'm going to take a drill bit that is the same size as this hole. It's pretty close. And I'm gonna drill into the bolt. Okay. I'm just kind of marking it. I'm actually gonna put this in a vise and put some pressure on it. I'm gonna pull that bolt back out. And what I got here now is I got a spot right there and I got a spot on the other side. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a little bit bigger of a drill bit and I'm just going to make a flat little dimple right there and over on the other side. And then I'm going to run a tap off and that'll clean the threads back up. And so now you can see what I did here is I made a little flat spot. And what that's going to be is because I'm going to tap out the collar. It's in the press here. I'm going to tap out these two holes and I'm going to run set screws in instead of drilling all the way through the bolt and weakening it. Then the set screws, see, they have a point on them. And what's going to happen is they're going to be tightened against the bolt there, and that's what's going to hold it from turning. So now I need to tap out those. Well, first I can run this back off. I'm going to start out by putting a nut on here. Then put our little plate on here. Then I'm going to put a bunch of red Loctite on here. I don't know if this is going to do anything or not, but we're going to give it a shot. Then we'll thread it back in. We're looking for those divots that I made. Find them. Okay, so it's right there. Right there. Yep. Now, take this here, set screw, put it in there. One on the other side. Crank them down tight. And we grab the tap. tap back in there. This set screw in. And there you go. I can tell you the bolt doesn't move anymore. It wiggled around when I first got it. The threads I cut up there are a little bit rough. It's a little bit hard to turn, but it'll be alright. I bet you that's gonna work. Because I've seen on YouTube other guys too. I've looked at them stuff and seen if there's any way to fix or something. And I didn't see anything, and I thought, you know what? I kind of thought about it. One got some stuff, and there you go. I think this is going to work. I think this is going to pull it out. So we're going to give it a shot. I tell you what, the manufacturer of this little tool that they make, all you got to do is make this out of steel. If you just, instead of aluminum piece on a lathe, put a steel piece in there, cut the same thing, do the same exact thing, and then you could put a set screw if you want to, but then all you got to do is put a weld. Just weld around there, or on the base of it. It'd never come apart. But that's the way it is. So I guess you guys will find out on the other video if it actually works, because we're going to start working back on that video. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day, great night as they watch this here video. And if you're not, well, certainly try that all over again tomorrow and have to fix a tool. Buy a tool, use it once, break it, gotta fix it. Time to get to work.